Certain substances affect the growth in the organisms. These substances which affect the growth are called as hormones. Hormone is a Greek word derived from harmonia, which means to urge or to stimulate. Timman suggested to use the term phytohormone for the hormones of plant. According to Timman, phytohormones are organic substances which are naturally produced in plants, control the growth or other physiological function at a site remote from its place of production and active in extremely minute quantities. Similarly, Phillips defined growth hormones as substances which are synthesized in particular cells and which are transferred to other cells wherein extreme small quantities influence the developmental process. So by this definition we can say that the hormones, they are the growth promoting substances which are required in very minute quantities, and they bring about the physiological function at a site away from their formation, and they are needed in very minute quantities. The plant hormones are broadly classified into two types. The first are the growth promoting hormones. So auxin, gibberellins and cytokinins are the growth promoting hormones, and second is the growth inhibiting hormones. The abscisic acid and ethylene etc. are the growth inhibiting hormones. So in this presentation I will be discussing about the auxin. The very existence of growth substances was proposed by Charles Darwin in his book The Power of Movements in Plant. While working on the canary grass, that is Phalaris canarensis, he demonstrated that the apical tips of seedlings are sensitive to unilateral illumination and show positive phototropism. Phototropism means the growth of the plant or its organ towards the light is called as phototropism. So here unilateral illumination means when the plant is given a light from a single direction, it is called as unilateral illumination. So Darwin observed that the coleoptile tips of the canary grass responded to the unilateral illumination by growing towards the right, means the canary coleoptile, they showed the phototropism. He concluded that the tips senses the unilateral light stimulus, but the curvature occurs somewhere down as a result of more rapid growth on the shaded than the illuminated side of the coleoptile. He defined that, so he also seen that when the tip of the coleoptile was removed, there was no curvature taking place. So you can observe in the picture, when the tip of the coleoptile was removed, there was no growth or curvature taking place. So he came to conclusion that when seedlings are freely exposed to lateral light, some influence is transmitted from the upper to the lower part, causing the later to bend. Most of the knowledge about auxins comes from the work on the oat, that is Avena sativa coleoptile. If the growing tips of coleoptile is removed, the remaining portion of coleoptile will show no growth. This means the growth is restricted to, or the growth is dependent on the upper region. If the removed tip is placed on an agar block, as you can see in the picture, for a period of few hours, and then this agar block is transferred to the cut end of the stem, it was observed that the tip of the stem has shown the curvature, or it shows the growth, or growth is resumed. This indicates that the substance synthesized in the tip migrates downwards and is responsible for elongation of the tip. This substance was named auxin by Cole. So auxin comes from a Greek word auxin, which means to grow. When performed Avena curvature test, he placed several freshly cut coleoptile tips on agar block. So he cut the tips of the Avena coleoptile and then he placed them on the agar block. So the substance was transferred from the coleoptile tip to the agar block, and then he cut this agar block into several pieces and placed them acentrically. Means you can see in the picture, he placed them on the one side of the cut part of the stem, and then he observed the growth curvature occurred. The coleoptile bent to one side, the opposite side to the agar block. He came to conclusion that due to diffusion from agar block to coleoptile, resulting in the elongation and growth on that side, and as a result stem bends. So if he concluded that the oxygen diffuses from the coleoptile tip to the agar block, and from agar block, when placed on the cut part of the stem, from agar block again that oxygen they move from the agar block to the cut part of the stem, and they bring about the curvature of the stem. So he came to conclusion that substances responsible for growth was synthesized in the apex, and they are translocated downwards, and there they caused the growth. And he also observed that the illuminated side of the coleoptile had 27% oxygen, and the non-illuminated side had the oxygen percentage of 57%. The auxins are widely distributed in plants, but they are found more in actively growing regions such as shoot apex, root apex, lateral meristems, and enlarging leaves. The auxins are synthesized from an amino acid tryptophan in presence of light and zinc. According to Wendt, auxin is transported basipetally, that it moves from the apical part to the basal part of a plant. The common auxins are indole acetic acid, indole butyric acid, naphthalene acetic acid, 2,4-dichlorophenoxy acetic acid, 2,4,5-trichlorophenoxy acetic acid. Now we will discuss about the physiological effects of the auxins on the plant. The first is the cell division and cell enlargement. Auxin stimulates cell division, cell enlargement, and cell elongation in the apical region. The primary physiological effect of auxin is to promote the elongation. The auxins promote the elongation by increasing the amylase activity, by increasing the permeability of the cell, by formation of energy rich phosphate, that is ATP. Then it increases the cell wall plasticity, because of which the wall pressure decreases, so that more amount of water enters, and because of as the more amount of water enters, the cell becomes turgid, it stretches, and cell elongates. So this is how the auxins bring about the cell division and cell enlargement. The rate of elongation by auxin is directly proportional to its concentration. So root elongation is promoted at a very low concentration of auxin, whereas at higher concentration auxins bring about the shoot elongation. So the concentration of auxin which promotes stem elongation retards or inhibits the root elongation. The next physiological effect is in cell division in the tissue culture. So as we have seen, the auxins promote the cell division as well as cell elongation. This is used in the tissue culture process. So auxin is useful in the formation of the callus. Here the formation of callus depends on the auxin concentration, that is the formation of different plant organs depend on the auxin concentration. A high auxin to cytokine ratio favors the root formation, whereas less auxin to cytokinin ratio favors shoot formation, and the balance of these two, if auxin and cytokinin are in equal concentration, they favor both the formation of root and the shoot. Next is the apical domination. The suppression of growth of lateral buds by apical bud is called as apical dominance. So here you can see the lateral buds are suppressed, they are not growing because of the dominant of the apical buds. But when the apical bud is removed, as you can see here, the apical bud has been removed. So after the removal of apical bud, the lateral buds they grow. So the suppression of lateral buds by apical bud is called as the apical dominance. This is because the auxin controls the nutrients and metabolites transportation. As we know, the more amount of auxin is present in the shoot apex, which it draws, because of more auxin, it draws more metabolites toward the shoot apex, and the lateral buds are devoid of adequate nutrient supply because they do not develop connection with the vascular tissue, and more amount of metabolites are drawn towards the shoot apex. So after removal of apical bud, the nutrient supply forms to the lateral buds, which results in the growth of the lateral buds. So this phenomena is used in the tea industries, that is the pruning of apical buds, that is removing of apical buds activates the lateral buds, thereby there is a dense or bushy growth of the plants, eventually more yield from the plants. The next is the phototropism. The growth or movement of plant organs in response to light is called as phototropism. Shoot apex shows positive phototropism. That is, when the shoot apex is illuminated on one side, more auxin accumulates on the shaded side. You can see in the picture, more amount of auxin accumulates on the shaded side and less growth on the illuminated side, and because of this there is the stem apex bends towards the light. Similarly, the auxin brings about zeotropism. The growth or movement of plant organs in response to gravity is called as geotropism. The shoot apex is negatively geotropic and root apex is positively geotropic. When a plant is kept horizontal, oxygen accumulates on the lower side of stem and root apex. As you can see in the picture, the oxygen has accumulated both on the stem and the root apex. The presence of more oxygens on the lower side of the stem causes more growth on that side. The stem apex turns upward. The presence of more oxygens in the root has a negative effect, that is, it inhibits the growth on the lower side. Due to this, the root apex turns downwards, and this differential effect of the oxygens on the shoot apex and root apex is called as Kolodny-Wendt theory. Next is the adventitious root formation. The oxygen stimulates the formation of the adventitious roots. So, indole acetic acid, indole butyric acid, naphthalene acetic acid induce the development of adventitious roots on the stem cutting. So, this feature is very much used in the horticulture, where the oxygen paste are applied to the cut ends of the roses for early and perfect rooting. Oxygen also initiate root formation in the tissue culture, and this phenomena is useful in the vegetative propagation for the growth of ornamental plants and the fruit trees. Next, the flowering. Oxygen generally inhibits the flowering, but in some plants where flowering occurs throughout the year, like in pineapple, they are useful in producing flowers simultaneously. Hitchcock and Zimmerman for first time showed that flowering in Nicotiana can be accelerated by oxygen. Indole acetic acid increases the number of spikelets in wheat, and in the pineapple it causes the simultaneous flowering. That is, in this, before the plant comes to flowering, the naphthalene acetic acid is spread on the flower buds, so that all the flowers, they come to simultaneous flowering, and because of which the fruit formation also takes place simultaneously, and the high concentration of the oxygen inhibits the flowering. This is useful in preventing flowering in lettuce. As we know, lettuce is used the leaves of the lettuce are used as salad. We don't need the flowers. So when the high concentration of oxygen is sprayed on the lettuce, it inhibits the flowering. The next is the parthenocarpy. Oxygen can induce fruit formation without fertilization in many fruits like apples, tomato, banana. The development of fruit without fertilization is called as parthenocarpy, and such fruits are called as parthenocarpic fruits. So, IAA, IBA, NAA induce the parthenocarpy in many fruit plants. So, these seedless varieties of watermelons, limes, and grapes are of very commercial value. Next is the eradication of the weeds. Undesired crops is called as the weed. The weed reduce the agricultural yields. The eradication of the weed to eradicate the weeds, the auxins like 2,4-D, that is 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid, are used as the herbicides. So these herbicides are very harmful to the broad-leafed dicot weeds like the Cyprus rotundus, Cynodon dactylon, which grow in the paddy field. So these unwanted plants are removed by using the auxins. Then prevention of the abscission. We see that the leaves, the flowers or fruit, they fall prematurely because of formation of a abscissin layer because of the hormone abscisic acid at the base of the petal and the pedicel. So the auxins, they prevent the formation of this abscisic layer, which prevents the premature fall of the leaves, flowers and fruits. Lower internodes in stems of oat, flax, paddy, wheat are long and weak. As a result, the plants bend down or they droops. This process of drooping is called as lodging. The lodging leads to heavy loss of grains. The application of auxin in early stage induces the cell division and leads to xylem tissue formation in lower internodes, which gives mechanical support to plant, thereby preventing the lodging.